Maybe I got confused about where the vision was. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I was confused. Okay, when they were following those shuttles, I thought the dropship was in the same spot, but he's really just going to go over here and mark this territory, pee on the fence post at the top right spawn main, to make sure that he knows if anyone else goes sniffing around there. But Violet is just getting a ton of information with these observers. I gotta hand it to him. He's not really a good player, to be completely honest. The last time I saw him was in the Winners League, I think. Or no, I think I've seen him since then. But I remember seeing him in the Winners League, and he just really kind of didn't play well at all in that series. And I think that was Violet. Maybe it was some other. Anyway, oh, here comes the drop coming in here. He drops out the 2 vultures. They're going to try and. Oh, he doesn't even drop the tank. Maybe the tank is up north already. Maybe he dropped it behind the minerals already, which would be a really smart move if that tank was already up there. But this drop isn't going to accomplish a whole lot. Excuse me. He kills off a couple probes, but nothing really substantial there, especially compared to the cost of a dropship and vultures, and I think the tank was still in there. Anyway, Frozean just playing a macro game here. Just trying to, get his macro on and macro up a lot of forces. He's got a lot of factories, actually, and he's trying to get up a 4th base. He's only taken the mineral only in the kind of 4 o'clock position, though. So that's why we're seeing a lot of factories without machine shops. He's having to produce a lot of vultures. And really, basically, what the Terran is trying to do in this kind of situation is produce a crap ton of vultures, just burn their minerals as much as they can, and use those vultures to go out and do raiding and try and harass the economy of the Protoss. And that's exactly what Frozean is trying to do, but he hasn't really done a good job of it so far. He's only killed a couple probes, and that was with the drop where he lost a lot of minerals as well. So really, the game is going to come down to Frozean's ability to do some more harassment. Although, actually, I guess, it may not come down to that. Violet is only getting his 4th base up now. He's got 2 mineral-only bases. Which actually I guess is okay for Protoss, because then they can survive pretty well with a lot of zealots. And they can still make a substantial amount of dragoons, but it means his arbiter count is going to be really low. He's probably not going to be able to two-gate arbiters, and he's actually coming in for an attack here, trying to wipe out part of Frozean's army while he's out of place. Stasising a nice group of units, going to take them out of play. And he's coming with 2 shuttles to drop on top of the newly sieged tanks. Nicely done. Doesn't look like it's going to do a ton of damage, but he's coming in from the side with dragoons as well. Not quite enough forces, though. I think he is going to get driven back. It looks like he's going to lose a single. No, he doesn't even lose that shuttle. Wow, so nicely defended by Frozean, considering the fact that he kind of got caught out of place there. And really, that's a smart move for Violet. He wants to try and put pressure on the Terran when he's trying to move out, and really, he needs to try and stop this new base from getting put down as well. It looks like the base is being stopped from landing by the stasis units underneath. But, Violet, the Protoss is going to try to, in this kind of a situation, going to try to attack the Terran army while they're moving, because that's when they're vulnerable, when they're not sieged up and that sort of thing. And so that was a smart move, and he took out a decent amount of forces. Now, theoretically, the Protoss is going to want to have more bases so that they can blow their army and trade armies, and then re-macro up an army a lot faster than Terran can, because if Terran loses that chunk of tanks, it is impossible for them to build up another chunk of tanks quickly. And this is a little weird. Okay, now he's going to drop them out. I thought, I was like, why is he just sending the shuttle in for no reason? And some harassment on the other side as well. Frozean coming in, taking out a ton of probes. He's got enough vultures there that he can just ignore the cannons and just go after the probes and try and take them out. Really, the vultures are worth their weight in probes if worth their weight in probes. They're worth their weight in minerals if they can kill off the probes as they're dying, and I think that was a really effective attack there. He killed off several probes and lost. Basically, if you can kill 1 probe per 1 vulture, that's a good trade, because you want to keep the Protoss economy down, because, like I said, that's what the Protoss is going to be depending on, is their ability to have an economy to build up their army over again once you trade armies in a big attack and that sort of thing. So he's doing a good job in that. Although it looks like Violet just isn't macroing very well. I mean, usually at this point, with the Terran at 4 bases, the Protoss is going to want to be at 6. And I think he's just getting, well, I guess he is getting a 5th and 6th up right now, but he's only just getting them up. He should have had them up earlier, I think. But it looks like Violet is taking the top right position, and he's taking the kind of 11 o'clock position as well. So it's going to bring his base count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I guess he is going to have 6 bases. And he might even want to start thinking about getting another one, if at all possible. But again, remember, 2 of those bases are mineral only, and so he's not going to have a ton of gas to work with here. And he's coming in for a recall. Recall on that side base. Nicely done. It looks like a mine's going to go off and do a lot of damage to the shields of some of those units. Actually, he may have killed off the mine before it hit, and that is exactly, again, what Violet needs to be doing. I guess I shouldn't say again because I didn't mention it before, but that is the other thing he wants to be doing, is harassing the economy and doing these recalls, because, again, it's just another variation on throwing your army away to try and do whoa, that mine almost killed a ton of vultures, but not quite. You want to throw your army away to try and sacrifice your army to kill off whatever you can of the Terran and undo their turtling and keep them from just getting up to their maximum army size, because the Protoss, again, is just going to be able to macro up their forces a lot easier and a lot faster. And especially the fact that he took out a command center there is really, really huge, because I was saying that he was at 4 bases, but in fact he was at 5. Frozean was at 5 bases, which is really would have been bad for Violet. But it looks like he was at 5, and now he's down to 4, so that was a really, really effective thing here. And he's trying to attack uphill. Not a good idea over here at the side of the base. He should really just kind of fall back and camp that spawn position, or I'm sorry, camp that. Look at that. Dragoons just slaughtered. He should have held back. Oh, he didn't kill the command center. I'm sorry. I thought he killed the command center. So he should have just held back and camped that position to make sure that it was more difficult for Frozean to retake that base here. Looks like Frozean trying to push forward here a little bit. He may be maxed. I'm not certain if he has that much of an army yet, but he is trying to push out here and trying to do a slow push off the middle of the map, sending some vultures, I think, towards that top expansion as well. Oh, and he was been shelling. I thought this was going to get cleaned up. At the top right base, he was shelling a little bit. I thought that was going to get cleaned up because there was like 1 tank there. But I guess Violet hasn't been able to reinforce there because of this huge Terran army in the middle. So it has been getting slowly eaten away by just a couple vultures and a single tank, and that's really a little bit sloppy by Violet. Again, we're seeing kind of, how Violet is sort of an amateur player here. I mean, if this was a greater Protoss player, we would have seen a lot more army, a lot more bases. We would have seen a lot more effective control, I believe. But he is going for another recall here. Going to recall on the natural expansion. And Frozean sees it. No, he's going to go right in the main. He's going to try and recall the main. Huge battle going on in the middle, distracting him, though. Recall at the same time. I think this is going to be worse for Frozean. It's going to be harder for Frozean to concentrate on more than one location. He takes out the shuttle. Zealot bombs are going to be ineffective, and that is going to drive off this attack in the middle. And that means Frozean is going to be able to move in on the natural expansion of Violet. But Violet now has this recall eating up buildings inside Frozean space. So it may be a battle to see who can kill off who first, but in that sort of